We're both fairly new to Magic, and we just merged a collection of over 40,000 cards, and here's how we did it.
So we both started out as collectors. I actually started collecting because of him, because I liked opening up the booster package and...
Me too.
Yeah, you too. But I had no idea about Magic, I just fancied the cards.
Yeah, same as me actually. I started as a collector as well, so not much playing experience either.
Yeah, so after I think or a few months ago, we decided to start playing Magic. We wanted to play Commander and we wanted to build our own decks. So for that, we had to sort our cards to make it easier to find the cards we would need for the decks.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, we both came into this house with our collection already sorted somehow a little bit, but we both had different systems. So if you want to tell about your system.
So my system was actually to have the more valuable cards in a different portfolio than the common cards. I had the common in a... Ordner vergessen.
Portfolio?
No.
Binder?
In a binder. I actually had the common cards in a binder and the more valuable ones in a portfolio. And so we realized that it would make it harder to find the cards that we would need for our decks. What was your system?
Mine was a little bit chaotic, as you realized. I had portfolios as well. I had some of the mythics and rares in them, but they were not all valuable. So I also had commons in there that just wouldn't fit in the big binder, who was already bursting out the seams. And then I had those two big binders, and one was for commons and the other was uncommons, I think. And I just went by color, and obviously it didn't work. It made it really hard to actually find the cards you needed, because it was not just one set, it was different sets interchanged in between. It was a mess, actually.
And you also had different card boxes with cards in it.
Oh yeah. I had this really big box from IKEA, and there were boxes in a box. They were sometimes intersected into different sections, and you just had to guess which card was. Yeah, there was no system at all. Some contained lands, other contained tokens. Yeah, thanks for helping there. Actually, yeah, absolutely.
You also had these old binders and portfolios with this old...
What was the issue with my binders?
Well, they were top loaded. So if you put a card in here, and if you if you would turn over the binder, your cards could fall out.
Yeah, so, and there was also no running with the binders and portfolios. Like, no Usain Bolt could handle these cards.
It is pretty loose in here.
Yeah.
So we had to get rid of them. Well, actually we have two, because we have no idea how we should sort these cards here, because I don't know why. Why are they not sorted like the other cards?
It's different sets.
Different sets? Sets that we don't have that many cards of, right?
I wouldn't say. No, I think I started with rares from Mirrodin, and then eventually, I don't know, was something like Scars of Mirrodin and Shards of Alara, and then I was missing some cards, and or I took them out for, I don't know, a deck, and then I had space up front, and I loaded them with random stuff.
Okay, but if we're searching a card, you know which cards are in here, so you did find me a lot of cards I needed. Initially. Yes. Good. And another problem we have is we have 3 different languages. We have French one, German ones, and English ones.
You're missing Japanese as well.
And Japanese as well. But yeah, I mean, Japanese, there are like...
Yeah, it's just Midnight Hunt. I don't know. There was Kamigawa. You had to get the Japanese for the Japanese altered arts. And I thought maybe, Midnight Hunt would contain some as well, but obviously not. So that was a mistake.
Okay, so we have 4 different languages, and we actually had the system English first, then German, French, and Japanese, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the cards we would normally use are all in English. Sometimes we just have German available or even French. Don't ask about it. So we had to start over. We had to take all the binders, take all the cards out, and we had to come up with a system, with a plan. And we also had to buy some equipment. We had to get new binders. We're going to show them to you, obviously. So 4-ring D shape. You have to get those binders to keep them safe in there. We got some Dragon Shield Fortress card drawers. They are very often apparently sold out, but they helped a lot. They contain about 1,500 cards each, and that made it a lot easier. But the system we actually started with was obviously separate them by set, and then we continued how?
We separated them by set, and then we went by number because it's the easiest way to find them after. So what we did first?
Yeah, the number, and it's actually with the new sets is also alphabetically. So if you sort by number, you have alphabetically and by color.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. And then, it's the whole thing. Set and numbers.
Yeah.
And that's how we started it. But first we had to scan all our cards. True. Because we had no collection of data, maybe? Or how would you say it?
There was no database for like an overview how many cards we have from what and which one we don't. And I actually started scanning with the Dragon Shield app. I mean, there's many more out there as well. Just take the one you like most. Dragon Shield actually made it a lot easier. And I started to scan some of the cards, especially when I got the new display, would just scan them and then put them actually back in the booster and back in the display box. That's not how you do it. But anyway, then I had some of them already scanned. So I was actually smart enough back then, because I put a Post-it on the box I scanned. But I
have never seen a Post-it.
Yeah, they were in the box of boxes. Yeah. Okay. So we first had to scan them with the Dragon Shield app, and it worked well. But you also have to separate them into full art, normal ones, and foils. Yeah. Yes, because the app can't distinguish over the foil and non-foil one. And they have an option for bulk scan, and it worked well, I think, but sometimes it took the wrong card. So, you don't want to correct, or you don't want to look over 1,000 cards that you scanned in. But I think I don't know what I wanted to say. It had something to do with piles and cards.
Piles and cards. So many cards. Yeah, it could be that a few times there would be a wrong not a wrong card, but a wrong version of the card in the Dragon Shield app.
Yeah. When you scan by bulk, no, sometimes it happens that you get the full art, for example, or what we found out a little bit later is that the Cavern of Souls, we had the neon ink art, but actually we didn't. So it was just regular art, but somehow Dragon Shield scanned it as the neon ink for, I don't know, a couple $100.
Yes, and today we saw one at the Bloomburrow, the Fell card. It will be a very nice full art, but no, we just have the normal one. And yeah, so we did this with all our cards, scan them in. And if you do the bulk scan, it's easy if you don't have the same cards following each other's. So you can't sort it. You know, you have to scan it before you sort it. Otherwise, it would be a nuisance to scan them. Yeah.
Scan first, sort later.
Yes, scan first, sort later. That's what I learned.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, obviously this makes a lot of sense now. It does. But when you start out, you don't know how to actually... You know, you have a few cards and you think, yeah, a portfolio might be enough, but if you start with the hobby and you have a few friends, let us tell you, it won't suffice. You just should be starting right now with organizing your cards, scanning them, put them into piles where you know you have scanned those. If you don't have the binders or the portfolios or whatever you're gonna purchase right now, but just think ahead of time, take the piles and sort them by colors. That's what you did.
Sorted them by colors?
Yeah, you took like one set and then you started piling them up by color.
But at the end, I sorted them by color. At the beginning, I sorted them, we sorted them by number, but for that, you have to pile that card. And I started piling it by number. So I had 1 to 99, 100 to 199, and like this. And I don't know, it made me tired to look for the number the whole time because it's just so small. And I think after the first 10 sets, I started to sort them by color first and then by number because it made me less tired because it's easier to see the color with the manas instead of the number. So I did that.
Yeah.
And you only piled by number.
I piled by numbers. I mean, it took us about a week, and with time, I somehow got muscle memory to know. So I knew where I had to put like 1 or 7 or 4, where I put them in front of me, and then it would just go like this. But obviously, if you need to look at a really small number the whole time, it gets really exhausting after a while. And maybe sometimes you had your glasses, sometimes you didn't. So that's maybe a factor that you have to think of as well. But that's just a little side note.
Yeah, and you had the muscle memory, but I think after the time, my hand started hurting from always putting down the cards with the same movement.
Yeah, we were sitting there like cripples at the end of of a day, actually.
Yes, and that's true because at the end I started sorting them on the couch and not on the table because it's how do you say? Because
more comfortable.
It's more comfortable to sit on the couch and sort the cards than sit on the table. Yeah.
Yeah, you preferably sit at the table instead on the table.
No,
you can also sort on the table.
I'm sitting on the table.
Okay, she does that sometimes.
like our cat.
Yeah.
No, and not just on the table. It must be table, playmat, me.
No, normally it's table, playmat, the cat, then you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, sorry. Table, playmat, cards, cat, me.
I agree. Okay. So, folders, binders, whatever you want to call that. You sort them by number, then you actually put them in the binder. We have side loading pages from Dragon Shield. Is it Dragon Shield? Yeah, it's Dragon Shield. No, it's not Dragon Shield. Let me correct that. It's Ultimate Guard. The one with the black background, smooth background. We found those are a little bit better to handle. I know they're a little bit more on the expensive side, but the big plus is that they're not top loading, means the dust won't cover inside the cards that are on top, and they won't fall out just by turning the pages, which sometimes actually happens. So that's a weird thing. And yeah, they actually are quite well done in quality. So we had no single page that was somehow damaged.
I had one.
You had one?
Yes.
Okay. Well, among like 1,000.
But I had one. No.
Okay, you had your one.
I had one.
Yeah. And then you just start them.
Yes. Then you just start. I mean,
with one, obviously.
With one, we did it together. Someone sorted from 1 to 10, and you gave the cards to me. I put it in the binder. We actually have 4 cards in
per loader.
Per loader.
Per sleeve. Page sleeve.
4 cards per card. Per sleeve. So because our thinking was, if you would play normal,
like standard.
Like standard, you can have 4 of the same cards in your deck, right?
Exactly.
So that's why we have 4 in here, and the rest, when we had more, it got. We did it in our.
The Fortress card drawer.
Yes, we put it in the Fortress card drawer when we had more.
Not sponsored.
Than 4. So that's our bulk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but obviously, if you would have like really valuable cards and you had 4,
lucky you.
Lucky you, exactly. Maybe you would think about like having them next to each other, or just put 2 in one page sleeve. They don't get damaged, but just better be safe than sorry, especially if you have like sleeved them and then put them in the page. Yes. Because that makes it quite thick. We didn't sleeve all of them. If you want to be sure, sleeve them, then maybe just put two in there and not 4.
Yes. And our most expensive cards we have, these are 3. We have them actually not in a binder and not in a top loader. We have them in
magnetic card cases.
Magnetic card case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a must, but
Yeah.
It's nice for showing them off somehow. I mean, nobody's ever coming here. No, just a joke. But we don't actually put them on display. It's just we bought them and then we thought we might as well use them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There is one thing about certain sets that consist of subsets, like what was that called?
March of the Machine.
Yeah, March of the Machine had like 2 subsets. What was the one? Was Modern Legends? I don't know.
No.
It was like 2 special guest sets they had.
The March of the Machine, the Aftermath, and
that was its own set.
that was its own set.
Yeah, but they had like 2 special guest sets, and then we just put the main set up front and the other 2 go in the back. Same goes with the commander cards. We don't put them in between the regular set.
Yes.
We put them at the end, but in the same set binder.
Yeah, and when we at the end of the card numbers, you don't have that much anymore of the cards because they are more.
They're rarer.
They're rarer, yes. So we also did a thing that we stopped with the normal number, maybe normal number. at 300.
Regular sorting by number.
Regular sorting by numbers, and then the more rare one. Sometimes we just sorted them after another because it was just 4 or 5.
Yeah, exactly. But that's actually quite an important point. So if you're missing a card number, a set number, collector number, I think it's called. It's the right term. We leave one space out. So if you have like 1, you're missing number 2, and then we have 3. We're leaving space out in case we're buying the singles, for example, which we would use right away and not put in the binder. But just in case, better be safe than sorry. In case you don't use that deck anymore, or whatever happens, or you just want to complete your set because you're a collector.
Yes.
More thorough than we are.
Yes, and if you made a mistake and accidentally missed an open spot and 55 is after 57, so then you can just start over again.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah. I did it once, not twice.
Yeah,
because you messed up.
Yeah, because I made.
But you.
I made a mistake, and I don't know why I.
It was late. It was getting dark.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes, and I saw it because I had to sort something in again, and yeah. Another question is what we do with our bulk, with our lands, and with our tokens, because we don't have them in the binders. We have them in the Fortress card drawer, because there are too many lands, too many tokens, and for the bulk we are not sure if we should keep them or if we should sell them, if we should trade them. We had some colleagues that are interested in trading it, so that would be an option. For the lands, we have it in the Fortress card drawer. We have divided between the full art lands and the normal lands. We also have them divided by plains, mountains, forests, swamp for easy finding. And the tokens, we actually sorted them.
You did.
I sorted them as a last thing to do with all that cards. I sorted them alphabetically, but just C is a C. But
yeah, or like what's like humans or soldiers. I mean, there's so many different ones. Yeah. Or elementals. It's just E.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just E.
If you need a token, take it.
And I think we also have tokens with different language, so it was more. Well, I sorted it all in English. So if you have in German Mensch, it's a human.
Yeah, exactly. So just by English, yeah, exactly. A friend of mine actually had a really good idea, or just does something he does is taking one card box with him that contains all the tokens he uses for all his commander decks in that case, which is actually quite smart. We might do that as well, so you don't have to go every time through your tokens and check if you got them or not, because obviously most of the tokens we didn't scan. Yeah, it's just a little bit over the top. And then there's the thing with, they're two-sided. Which side you're gonna take? So most of the time, we try to remember if we have like a lot of soldiers or humans, we would take the other side, or Brothers at War, I think, or March of the Machine. It was with a lot of rebels, and on the back side there were different kind of Phyrexian tokens, which made a lot more sense. All right, so to sum it all up, really start early organizing. Like if you start collecting Magic or play Magic, and you don't just buy singles, you also buy displays, you have your booster drafts and stuff at Friends or at your LGS, just start organizing your cards. Use an app with a scanner that hopefully supports some bulk scanning like Dragon Shield does. Ads are a little bit annoying right now, but you can support them by paying money. Yeah, it's that easy. And yeah, just get your cheap binders. Remember to get those four ringed D binders, and as for the loaders, for the pages, side loaders is the thing to go to, actually, and not the top ones. As for organizing, just pile them by set, and scan them first, pile them by set, then go 1 to 99, and then 100 to 199, and then sort them again by in tens, like 1 to 9, 10 to 19, etc., and then start putting them in the binders. We found it acceptable to put 4 cards in one page sleeve, so to speak. You can put 2 in them. We didn't find that they get damaged by putting 4 in them, so far at least. And that's really it, actually. There's not a lot of magic in there.
Yeah.
Well, it is. But just the cards. Oh, jeez.
Yes. Maybe find a friend to do it.
Yeah, helps.
Yeah.
It helps.
It's a lot easier to do it with a friend or just with someone, because it gets tiring.
It gets really tiring, actually, if you're focusing on the numbers, on the cards, on the colors and stuff. And if you look at Reddit or TikTok or YouTube or anything, there's so many people out there that just keep their cards, sometimes even just in piles, loosely on the cardboard, on a sideboard or something, and it just gets more work.
Yeah.
So just do it. Get some help. Get a friend to help you, or friends.
And if you have a cat, you have to get used to
him destroying all the piles.
Yes. If you have a cat, get used to him destroying all the piles you have, sitting on the cards, throwing the cards on the ground.
Especially overnight.
Yeah, and have a lot of hair in your cards.
That's disgusting. No, I think at one point we really had a lot of cards on the table.
Yes.
And we left them there overnight, and he was sleeping on the table. And when we came back in the morning, everything was furry.
Yes. Yeah.
We had to clean them first.
Yeah.
So maybe if you have a cat, if you have a dog, just put them in the binder first and don't leave them out overnight.
Well, a dog wouldn't sleep on the cards on the table.
I don't know your dog. Maybe he would. It's one of those cat-sized dogs. Okay. So have fun organizing your magic cards like we did.
Yeah.
It can be tiring, but it's also a lot of fun.
And we're just a little bit crazy now.
A little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Take care. See ya.
Bye.